Hi, welcome to analysis of the back squat, the front squat and the overhead squat. So the first thing I just want to talk about is a brief technical model for squatting, and in this instance I'm just going to focus on balance considerations, so the positional centre of mass over the base of support. And just going to look at this picture now of an Olympic athlete in the bottom part of the clean and jerk, so in sort of front squat position. So, firstly, you can see the centre of mass is strongly over the base of support, so the glutes over the heels. We've got a good, strong thoracic and lumbar extension, providing a nice upright posture. So you can see the chest is upright, and external rotation at the hip. Okay, so allowing no valgus of the knee, interior rotation of the knee. So it's a good, strong, stable position. So this is what I'm going to look at now in relation to my own squatting to see how I compare to this technical model. In my own opinion, balance is key with the squat. So you're considering how to achieve balance in the sagittal and frontal plane.
Come on, strong. Let's go. Up. Very good.
Okay, so just looking at my back squat first of all, let's take it out of the rack. So first thing to notice, I do have quite a curvature in my lumbar spine, and I think we'll see as we go through the lift, this will be something that contributes to quite an anterior tilt at the bottom of the movement. So balance wise absolutely fine, have good external rotation at the hip, but towards the bottom of the movement you just see I'm driving from the lumbar and thoracic spine, particularly at the bottom of the movement. This is also contributed from tightness in my adductors. Also I've had a meniscus tear on my left leg a few years ago now, but also mobility wise this sort of plays in my mind, and also towards the bottom of the movement means I'm kind of pushing from the lumbar back to contribute to actually lifting the bar. It's not too bad, but it's something that needs to be improved. Okay, so adductors tight, resulting in less ability to drive effectively with the glutes and external rotation of the hip. I've definitely got increased anterior pelvic tilt, puts more shear force on the spine to compensate for that. I'm going to move on to the overhead squat, just to compare. Okay, so looking at the overhead squat, you can really see now the exaggeration of the anterior tilt caused by my poor thoracic extension, mobility in the hip and glute. So this could be a much more upright posture. My chest is struggling to be upright, okay? And balance-wise, at the bottom of the movement particularly, you know, I'm fighting quite a bit to maintain a good balance. So sometimes from a front view onwards is actually quite a movement in the frontal plane. Okay, so slow-mo of my front squat. So with this, the main thing I'm looking at, of what I've identified, is the tightness of the shoulders, the grip position at the top of the movement. So I've got quite a tight lat and also quite pectorals as well, quite tight pectorals as well, which means that I've got quite a kyphotic curve, which means towards the top of my upper body, which means that I'm struggling to keep the elbows upright in the ideal position as I go down through the movement. Again, we see a slight exaggeration of that of driving from the lumbar spine coming up. So it's really mobility issues that's contributing to making the movement not so ideal. So muscular anterior and posterior ability causing imbalance, some kyphotic roundness at the shoulders, less ability to keep elbows high. Again, thoracic extension, as you can clearly be seen in the mirror, if you just look to the left of the picture, causing disruption to my balance. Also, lack of mobility potentially in my wrist flexors and elbow flexors. In the past, I've had a tricep tear and also an AC displacement, which could contribute to this. Now, interesting, what I've done now is just finished off looking at my sumo deadlift in a slow motion, and from this, you see towards the bottom of the movement again. So I'll just get into the starting position. Puts a little bit more emphasis on the adductors in the sumo rather than the classic deadlift. Okay, so yeah, driving upwards, but then we see the lumbar spine, thoracic spine taking over again just as I'm coming out of the bottom of the movement before I start to drive again through the glutes, the hamstrings and the legs. So just in that phase there, and then driving upwards from the legs. So ideally that needs to be less emphasis on the lumbar spine and just really driving through the heels and the hamstrings. And again, it is just mobility in my case, tight abductors and glutes. So what's happening is, in my opinion, is that I'm trying to maintain the stability, but therefore the emphasis on the lift is going through the lower back. Thanks.